Today, we have an exciting topic to discuss, one that could potentially transform the lives of millions living with diabetes. Join us as we explore the groundbreaking technology of an implantable device that enables injection-free control of diabetes. Imagine a world where individuals with diabetes no longer need to endure regular injections or constant monitoring. This innovative implantable device is here to make that dream a reality. So, how does this device work? Let me break it down for you. The implantable device consists of a tiny, state-of-the-art sensor that is placed beneath the skin, usually in the abdominal region. This sensor continuously measures the glucose levels in the body. The sensor communicates wirelessly with a companion smartphone app or a dedicated monitoring device. This allows people with diabetes to conveniently and painlessly monitor their glucose levels in real time. With this implantable device, patients can say goodbye to daily finger pricks and insulin injections. The continuous glucose monitoring provided by the device gives them better control over their blood sugar levels. It's a game changer. Patients who have been using the implantable device for a few months now say it has truly transformed their lives. It's like having a constant guardian angel watching over their glucose levels. They feel more confident and in control. The advantages of this implantable device are immense. Not only does it provide continuous glucose monitoring, but it also tracks patterns and trends in glucose levels, alerting users to potential risks or fluctuations. This empowers individuals to make informed decisions about their diet, exercise, and medication. The implantable device is a result of years of extensive research and development. Scientists and engineers are continuously striving to improve its accuracy, longevity, and compatibility with different body types. One promising approach to treating type 1 diabetes is implanting pancreatic islet cells that can produce insulin when needed, which can free patients from giving themselves frequent insulin injections. However, one major obstacle to this approach is that once the cells are implanted, they eventually run out of oxygen and stop producing insulin. To overcome that hurdle, MIT engineers have designed a new implantable device that not only carries hundreds of thousands of insulin-producing islet cells, but also has its own onboard oxygen factory, which generates oxygen by splitting water vapor found in the body. The researchers showed that when implanted into diabetic mice, this device could keep the mice's blood glucose levels stable for at least a month. The researchers now hope to create a larger version of the device, about the size of a stick of chewing gum, that could eventually be tested in people with type 1 diabetes. You can think of this as a living medical device that is made from human cells that secrete insulin, along with an electronic life support system. Researchers excited by the progress so far, and they really are optimistic that this technology could end up helping patients. While the researchers' main focus is on diabetes treatment, they say that this kind of device could also be adapted to treat other diseases that require repeated delivery of therapeutic proteins. More recently, researchers have shown similar success with islet cells derived from stem cells, but patients who receive those cells also need to take immunosuppressive drugs. Another possibility, which could prevent the need for immunosuppressive drugs, is to encapsulate the transplanted cells within a flexible device that protects the cells from the immune system. However, finding a reliable oxygen supply for these encapsulated cells has proven challenging. Some experimental devices, including one that has been tested in clinical trials, feature an oxygen chamber that can supply the cells, but this chamber needs to be reloaded periodically. Other researchers have developed implants that include chemical reagents that can generate oxygen, but these also run out eventually. The MIT team took a different approach that could potentially generate oxygen indefinitely by splitting water. This is done using a proton exchange membrane, a technology originally deployed to generate hydrogen and fuel cells located within the device. This membrane can split water vapor, found abundantly in the body, into hydrogen, which diffuses harmlessly away, and oxygen, which goes into a storage chamber that feeds the islet cells through a thin, oxygen-permeable membrane. A significant advantage of this approach is that it does not require any wires or batteries. Splitting this water vapor requires a small voltage, about 2 volts, which is generated using a phenomenon known as resonant inductive coupling. A tuned magnetic coil located outside the body transmits power to a small, flexible antenna within the device, allowing for wireless power transfer. It does require an external coil, which the researchers anticipate could be worn as a patch on the patient's skin. After building their device, which is about the size of a US quarter, the researchers tested it in diabetic mice. One group of mice received the device with the oxygen-generating, water-splitting membrane, while the other received a device that contained islet cells without any supplemental oxygen. The devices were implanted just under the skin, in mice with fully functional immune systems. The researchers found that mice implanted with the oxygen-generating device were able to maintain normal blood glucose levels, comparable to healthy animals. However, mice that received the non-oxygenated device became hyperglycemic, with elevated blood sugar, within about 2 weeks. Typically, when any kind of medical device is implanted in the body, attack by the immune system leads to a buildup of scar tissue called fibrosis, which can reduce the device's effectiveness. This kind of scar tissue did form around the implants used in this study, but the device's success in controlling blood glucose levels suggests that insulin was still able to diffuse out of the device, and glucose into it. This approach could also be used to deliver cells that produce other types of therapeutic proteins that need to be given over long periods of time. In this study, the researchers showed that the device could also keep alive cells that produce erythropoietin, a protein that stimulates red blood cell production. We're optimistic that it will be possible to make living medical devices that can reside in the body and produce drugs as needed, Anderson says. There are a variety of diseases where patients need to take proteins exogenously, sometimes very frequently. If we can replace the need for infusions every other week with a single implant that can act for a long time, I think that could really help a lot of patients. Before I conclude, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. The researchers now plan to adapt the device for testing in larger animals and eventually humans. For human use, they hope to develop an implant that would be about the size of a stick of chewing gum. They also plan to test whether the device can remain in the body for longer periods of time. As we conclude this audio presentation, let us reflect on the immense impact of this implantable device. It represents the incredible potential of technology to revolutionize healthcare, giving hope to those living with diabetes and their loved ones. Thank you for joining us today. Together, let's embrace a future where diabetes management is injection-free and filled with possibilities. Once again, thank you for taking time to watch our video.